Hello everyone, VegasVic1965, and this week's video is going to be on auto crops, auto farming, and it'll be with rails and also without rails, which will be using a villager to have another villager toss them some food. So, without further ado, let's find out. Okay, the first one we're going to be doing, I'm going to use a full set of powered rails through here, but you can go with 7 or 5. I would not suggest 3. The minecart hopper may get stuck at one point, but I have tried it with 5 and 7. They work just fine, but for this purpose, I'm going to use the full sets of powered rails. If you have the material, if you have the resources, great. Anyway, let me go over here and we'll show you exactly what we're looking for this build with the rails. It's just one villager you're going to have in there. It is going to be a wheat farm, an auto wheat farm. So when we do pop our villager in there, we're going to give him 8 stacks of these seeds, and we're going to have a cordoned off area that I'll show you. So we make sure he picks all those up. But you will need exactly 9 blocks of redstone, exactly 85 powered rails. You'll need 16 regular rails, 6 hoppers, 2 chests. You can expand this if you want, but for this build, this is all you need. You'll need light sources on the inside. I'm going to use glowstone, but you can just use torches if you like. Building blocks will basically be your choice, and of course, I like to use glass so I can see what's going on inside. For the platform where the seeds and where the farm is going to be, you'll need exactly this number of, I think it's 80. Yeah, you'll need 80 dirt. A half slab. We're going to waterlog the half slab. That'll be right in the center. We'll put a composter right on top of that, and then we'll put a glass block on top of that so he does not jump off on there and ruin the crops. You'll need exactly this number of seeds to get started, and you'll also need some bone meal. Now, I suggest that you definitely, before you turn him loose, you want to make sure that everything in there is ready to be harvested, because we do not want him using up any of these spots here that he's got. We want to make sure that those are full of seeds. That way you always get the wheat. You will get extra seeds, but I have something I can show you later to set up for an auto sorting system that you can filter some of that stuff out, and it can go right back into bone meal if you like. So let's get over here and find ourselves a center. One of the first things we're going to be looking at is I want to make sure you understand how I'm going to be doing this, because if you set rails a certain direction, they're a little funky. So I'm not going to have the rails go north and south. I'm going to have the rails go east and west. What do I mean by that? Well, in this pattern right here, this is where the platform is going to be. My redstone is going to be running north and south, as you can see here. Let's bring up the GUI, and you can see the direction I'm facing is positive Z, which is south. This, of course, will be north. So you want to have a line of these, 9 of them running, and then you'll have the rails going east and west. So let's go ahead and get that build started. We'll pick the spot right here. That's our center. Go 4 blocks in each direction. This is going to power those powered rails. And then from this block right here, we're going to have our, you can go the other side if you want. It doesn't really matter. We're going to skip this block here. We're going to take out 6 blocks here. Or 6 grass blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we're going to knock these 2 out. We're going to put our chest in there. Double chest. Like I said, you can extend this if you wanted to. Over here, you're going to crouch down. You're going to place 2 hoppers into the back of this chest. And then you're going to crouch again and run a line of hoppers all the way down here. Just like that. Next, we're going to get our powered rails. But you want to put a block, a solid block right here. Don't use stairs or slabs. The minecart will not keep going back and forth on you. So you want to make sure you use a solid block. Then we'll start placing our powered rails. On the hoppers, you will need to crouch down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you don't need to crouch anymore. Once you get to here, we're going to go 4 past this powered, the redstone block. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to turn it, come back around. We're going to go 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to turn it, and we'll do the same thing all the way to the end. Okay, once we get back to the last one here, we're going to go our normal 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go 1 extra, and we're going to put a solid block right there. Now that hopper minecart will go all the way through here, and it will pick up all the crops. Now, I should have mentioned earlier, this will work for carrots. It'll work for potatoes, it'll work for wheat, and later on you'll see that we'll have a villager set up on the side, and it will also work for bread. So now that you have this done, we'll go back to our center area here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This center area here, we are going to get our dirt, put a block here. It's going to be temporary, and we'll surround this. Then you want to come up and get rid of this, and you're going to get your slab. Let's move this stuff. I don't need it. Put your slab down in the bottom, and you want to waterlog it by putting a bucket of water there. Then we'll go ahead and fill this out. We're going to go 4 from each direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and you want to fill all this in. Once you get that all done, it should look like this. We're now going to go ahead and hoe all this dirt, and we will plant ourselves some seeds, and then we'll make sure that this is fully grown before we actually push our villager into his new home. So go ahead and hoe all this, and we'll be right back. Okay, now that you have it all hoed and you also have all your seeds planted, it will start growing. We want to make sure all this, like I said earlier, was fully grown before we let the villager loose in there. The next step, we're going to drop in our composter here. And we want to put, you can do the glass on top now, or you can do the light on top right now. I'll put the light on there, and you can put more glass on top of that. And while this is growing, we'll go ahead off of here, and we'll go ahead and use whatever building materials you'd like to use to decorate this up a little bit. I am going to be using, let's see, it looks like oak logs. And if you're standing over here, or I know I'm in creative, but you can even do it on the edge of here. Just make sure you don't jump up and down or you'll ruin those crops. You can see, if I back up just a little bit, it's not, there we go. There we go. You can set down whatever building materials that you're going to use. Like I said, I'm just going to use oak logs at the moment and decorate it up the way you like. And after you get that done, we'll come back and we'll work on the villager next. Once you figured out how you'd like to design it with materials you'd like to use, I use blocks on the north and south corner so we can get the like I'm going to be using the oak logs so I can get the oak logs on top and surrounding the crop area. We can go ahead and get our minecart with hopper placed on there now, and you'll see it will start and continue to run all the way around. So like I said, I had to use any building block that you want to set you whatever decoration block that you're going to put up here. Next, like I said, I like to see, so I'm going to do two rows of glass blocks all the way around. Next, now that you got this done, you want to give yourself a temporary enclosure. I have a temporary block here. I may or may not keep this. I probably won't, so you can use temporary blocks. If you want to use dirt, that's just fine. I'm using glass so you can see, but I got it too high so he can't get out and he can't get into the crops just yet. Besides, they're not ready. Now, if you have plenty of bone meal, feel free to bone meal these crops to make this a little bit faster. If not, leave him in there until all of these crops have fully grown. Just remember to leave them in there until they're fully grown. And if you want, you can set down a composter. Just make sure that he doesn't jump up and out. So you may want to set like the composter right here and then break it once you've got him to a farmer, if you wanted to use him to trade with. At this point, I really don't need to, so let's drop some seeds in there for him. Again, we're dropping 8 stacks of seeds. He has 8 inventory slots. We're going to fill those up with seeds so he can't keep any wheat for himself. And once he has all that, I'm going to go ahead and use bone meal since I have it so we can get the process running a little quicker, and I'll be right back. Okay, now once we have the crops fully grown, we're going to let him loose in there. You'll see he'll pick up that job site block. When you're ready, buddy. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and block this off, and we don't need these temporary blocks any longer, and he is safe and sound inside there. And we're going to add next. Now, something important that I want to mention, you could do whatever roof you want. You do want to make sure that there are 3 blocks of airspace above him, so in case you have lightning storms that he does not turn into a witch. So we have 2 right now. So what I'm going to do now is just build up another 3 blocks, and I'll start a temporary one. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to show you to save some time. As you see here, there's the 2 blocks that we have right here. I've added another set of oak logs, and then I've added oak planks beyond that, and then we've went ahead and put the light sources in the corners, leaving him plenty of room to walk around, but there's no way anything could spawn in there to bother him. Hostile mobs are not going to spawn in there anyway, because remember when we have the glass there, and these are this is crops, so the tilled soil, nothing is going to spawn inside there. We want to keep the light sources just fine for him though, so we can see what's going on inside there. So once you get that done, go ahead and put your light sources and your roof, the design that you'd like to have done. You'll start to see that our minecart should start picking up the wheat. And again, we do have seeds. We're going to run over real quick and take a look and show you what I have set up for it to take care of that. This is one here. It's just like the one we just built. That's a full auto villager given full seeds. You'll get the wheat and seeds. Whoops. Let's go down inside here so you can see. Now there are plenty of tutorials on how to build this sorting system. So feel free to search the internet, and if I get enough requests, I'll go ahead and show you how to build one. I'll do a little tutorial. But the way I have it set up is this first one, you will see, of course I have my filter blocks. I've set up wheat. It'll stop at 41. The next one, he will drop bone meal from time to time, and that will not go through this process over here, which is bone meal. So this one over here is where seeds are going to go, and they will turn into more bone meal. So you'll have all your wheat right here. Okay, just to recap, I want to go over here and show you the auto wheat farm that we've done here also works for carrots, potatoes, and beets. So you can use this farm for any of those. Just make sure that this farmer that you put in there, if you're going to do wheat, when you put him in there, make sure he has his full inventory. All 8 slots are full of the crop that you want him to give you. So if it's wheat, you want to make sure you give him 8 full stacks of seeds. If it's beetroot, 8 full stacks of beetroot seeds. If it's carrots, 8 full stacks of carrots. If it's potatoes, same thing. 8 full stacks of potatoes, and that is your auto farm complete for the one with the rails. Now without the rails, we're pretty much doing the same thing, but I wanted to show you the light source first. In that one over there, if you don't have access to glowstone or the sea lanterns and you just want to use torches, just spread the torches out. As you can see here in the center block, I did not use the glowstone. I just went ahead and put a glass block there, and I put some torches around. I'm missing one torch right there. There we go. And that'll provide enough light in there so you can see what's going on. My villager over there is ready to go to come inside here. And I have a temporary section over here that we're going to use to put another villager in just a moment. We want to make sure again that the crops, now you can let him in here. Matter of fact, we can do that, but I want to make sure I get this set up first so I don't let him out into that area while I'm working. So I have him blocked off, and we'll let this stuff start to grow. And then we'll build this one right over here. So on this one here, we're going to go out 3 blocks and 2 blocks deep. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and then a second block down. And then our chest is going to go underneath here. Let's give ourselves some room to get down inside there. Get my chest. We're only going to need 1 hopper for this and a double chest. You can use more if you like. Set the double chest down here. Then you want to come back over here. I'm going to take these out while we're working. We don't want him sneaking out on us. So I'll put the hopper. You crouch down and put the hopper into the back of that chest. Now you're going to need, what's different out of this is you will need less hoppers, but you will also need a fence post. Now you can use a temporary block if you want to at the moment, but we need a fence post in this section right here, and then you can get rid of the bottom one because you don't need that anymore. Now to have access to the chest and have a place for the villager to stand on, you want to put 1 block right there. I suggest a glass block so you can obviously get into the chest. You can use this upside down stair if you want, but I'm just going to use a glass block. And then from here, we're going to go around and get our villager ready to go into his pod. Now I don't want the other villager to see him yet and start conversing with him. I want him to get to work first. But what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, whoops, come back down here, and we'll fill that in just like that. Now this is about ready. Just do not forget that this villager will also need 3 air spaces above him. So when you're making the roof, take that into consideration. We need 3 air spaces above the villager. In this model, where we're not using the rails, you can see that we have a oak log here and a glass block. That counts as 2, and we need to go up 3 blocks. So you will need to go at least 1 more solid block up of air inside here, and then you should be safe. And the same thing for this villager we're going to put into here, because we do not want them struck with lightning. That's just going to ruin your farm. We'll come into here, pop our villager. He can't go anywhere, but he is going to be ready to get some food from his friend who's going to throw it at him. Now, the hopper right there and the fence gate that you see in front, you can use a hopper minecart if you want. I recently saw people that also use those. I'll use a fence gate because I use a lot of these, especially for my experience farms. If you've watched some more of my farms before, it will hold back the experience. And if you're ever trying to throw anything over a fence, it's not exactly easy. And these villagers haven't got the ability to look way up and throw over a fence. So when they do throw something at this villager, whether it's going to be carrots, potatoes, or bread in this case, then it's going to go right down into that hopper. Now this will work great for carrots and potatoes if you're limited on resource and don't have the gold. So carrots and potatoes will work, and also for bread. But if you're looking to get just the wheat and the beetroot, you will not get that out of here. He is going to be throwing bread at him instead of wheat. And that's exactly what villagers do to breed. He's going to recognize this guy up here and say, I've got food, let me share some with him. When he throws it, it'll hit the fence and drop right down the hopper, and you'll have it down there. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about right here, because here's a guy that is doing that exact same thing. Our farmer is now throwing bread to him. So the Amir, I think it was, that asked me about the bread farm, that's the one you're looking for. Okay, we are back. The crops are ready to be harvested. The only difference with this one right here, when it comes to the bread. Now for carrots and potatoes, you can load up his inventory or not load his inventory. In this particular case, for the one without the rails, you don't have to fill up his inventory with items. If you fill up his inventory with seeds, he will not be able to make bread to give to the other villager. I'm going to release him, let him go in there. Now I put a temporary block right over here. It's very important because if he sees the other villager, he's going to want to go gossip with him, and we don't want him to see him just yet. Well, I want him to pick up on this block, the workstation, which he will in a moment. There we go. And now he should start harvesting all this wheat. And once he starts picking up all that wheat and start harvesting, just like that, I'm going to remove that temporary block so he can see this villager right over here that we placed with the single hopper and the double chest down here, so we can see him get bread. Like I said, it could take a Minecraft day or two for things to get going. But something important I want to mention also in here is, before, our villagers used to have a boundary. They still have sort of a boundary, and it's based on this bell that you see. We have one right here in this little village, and that was about 64 blocks. So if you took a villager out, let's say somewhere right around over here, and he would eventually want to work his way back towards the villager boundary. Now I'm going to show you that that's no longer the case. I have a villager over here almost 300 blocks away. No other village, no bell, no nothing. And it looks like he's pretty busy. I've left him to his devices to see what he's going to do. And as you can see here, we are still getting crops. So if you don't have a village of your own, say for example, you got a zombie villager and you wanted to get it done, you don't have a village nearby, no sweat. This guy will do it for you. Just, if he's a zombie villager that you found, you turn him back into a regular villager. You can set him into something like this without having a village, a bed, or even a bell nearby, and he will start to work for you. That was really important, something that I wanted to mention to you guys. My videos on these tend to be a little bit longer, only because I really want to explain the mechanics so you understand how they work. And again, with my videos, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. I always answer those comments and do my best to help you when you are stuck. So if you like this video, click that like button. It really helps me. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job at explaining things and helping you guys with your Minecraft worlds. If you want to subscribe for future videos, click that subscribe button. Once again, that also helps me. So until next week's video, thank you very much for watching, guys, and goodbye.